The reading is from Rays of the One Light, Weekly Commentaries on the Bible and Bhagavad Gita by Swami Kriyananda. This is for week 5, the mystery of Avatara or divine incarnation. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda. The Bhagavad Gita in the 4th chapter states, as we saw last week, O Bharata, whenever virtue declines and vice predominates, I incarnate on earth. Taking visible form, I come to destroy evil and reestablish virtue. What is the mystery of this divine manifestation? Great avatars such as Krishna and Jesus Christ are born as babies, even as we all are. They take human form and go through normal human experiences as they grow from childhood to adulthood. They eat, they play, they may seem to suffer sickness and disappointment like the rest of us. In what way are they different from other human beings? The important thing to understand is that even as they are like us, so are we also like them. Their realization can be ours too. They come on earth to show us our own divine potential. The difference lies not in the manner of their manifestation on earth, but in the consciousness with which they are born. All things are condensations, so to speak, of the cosmic vibration, Om, described by St. John's Gospel as the Word. Most human beings, however, are unconscious of their divine origin. The avatars, on the other hand, come consciously as manifestations of that divine reality. As the Gospel says in the 1st chapter, and the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Om, Om, Om.
Thank you, Melissa. Let's see. Okay. So I have reading we'll start with today from Whispers from Eternity. And this one is a little long, but it's, it's so beautiful, the way he describes things. And so I'm going to go ahead and read it, and hopefully you'll be inspired by it. It's number 7, Worshipping the Cosmic Idol. O Infinite Spirit, I shall worship thee today as finite. O cosmic silence, I shall hear thine unheard voice through the murmur of brooks, through the songs of nightingales, through the sound of blown conch shells, through the beat of ocean waves, and through the hum of all vibrations. India-wise, in the cosmic temple of my mind, I shall worship thee ceremoniously with clanging bells in my heart, O idol of finitude. In reverence I shall behold thy face glowing red with vital power in the sun, and bestowing soothing moonbeam glances to dispel all gloom. I shall no more consider the unseen, for in worship I shall look straight into and through thy finite, starry eyes, to behold thy mystic heart. With thy breath in the heaving wind, I shall mix my breath, borrowed from thee. Wordless chants of my yearning for thee will pulse with the cadence of my heart throbs. I shall feel thy heart beating in all hearts. I shall watch thy hands working in the law of gravitation and in all cosmic forces. In the footfalls of all living creatures, I shall hear thy footsteps. In worship, I shall behold thy vast, skyey body, alternately adorned with stars on the dark, twinkling veil of night, and thy coming light with the pale light of dawn. I shall behold thee heralding the night with the gray twilight. O my cosmic idol, garlanded with stringed beads of the Milky Way, diademed with the rainbow, festively arrayed with the diamonds of all glittering stars and planets, I bow to thee. The glistening skin of the sky perspires rain with thy life, and thy blood runs through thy veins of rivers, streams, brooks, and in the blood flow of all men. No more shall I worship thee as unseen, but as my visible embodied cosmic idol. The temple bells of harmony in nature, the drumbeats of mighty sea swells, the myriad votive candles of prayer and chanting in all churches, devotion flowers from the garden of all souls, and the incense of all aspiring loves, all these have I assembled for thy worship, O visible idol of my soul. With open eyes and with the eye of my mind, let me behold thee, my living idol of God in nature. Let me worship thee vocally and with mental chants, with a bouquet of devotion, with serviceful activity, and with wisdom. Above all, let it be with the language of love, with heart whispers, with tearless tears in meditation, and with the silent sobs of intuition. It kind of sums it up. He kind of covers all the bases, I think, in that one. I just love all the references to nature, and because truthfully, when I'm in nature, I am very much in awe of God's creation. So the topic today, what is an avatar? It's interesting, the reading that we read every Sunday comes from a longer reading. When Swami Kriyananda first wrote these passages, they were 4 or 5 pages long. And at one point, someone, probably Asha, said, can we have a shortened version? And so that's how they got distilled down into these shorter versions. But I always read the full version, and I go to the Bible passage if I can, or the Bhagavad Gita passage. But the full version has just a wealth of additional inspiration. So for instance, the quote, O Bharata, whenever virtue declines and vice predominates, I incarnate on earth, taking visible form. I come to destroy evil and reestablish virtue. So that's from the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. But it is preceded in the longer version with this passage. And this also, I think, answers the question, what is an avatar, or to some extent? Unborn, changeless, Lord of creation, and controller of my cosmic nature, though I am. Yet entering nature, I am dressed in the cosmic garment of my own Maya, or delusion. O Bharata, whenever virtue declines and vice predominates, I incarnate on earth. Taking visible form, I come to destroy evil and reestablish virtue. So that's the full passage there. And we are so blessed. We are so blessed to have, this whole team of avatars here that I'm pointing to with my hand. And I mean, we had Swami Kriyananda who lived with Yogananda. So that vibration is in Ananda and in everything that we do, or that's what we attempt to hold on to, that consciousness in everything that we do. And Swami was able to do that through his music and his words and everything. I think it's an important point also in the reading where it says, I don't know the quote, but the basic idea is they come to show us the way. They don't come to show us how great they are. They come to be the light in our lives, the inspiration, and to show us, what is possible. And even though sometimes that might seem like, well, there's no way, I'm not going to be a Yogananda or even a Swami Kriyananda. We can't think that way because we don't really know. I don't think any of us are avatars yet, but eventually, we just keep trying and keep tuning into that consciousness. And of course, we have so many tools to do that. And well, first I want to say there are so many great souls that give us light and show us the way. As it says in the festival, many times has that light come to earth. Drawn to earth by aspiring love. So many times has that light descended, drawn to earth by aspiring love. And so we know that there is an abundance of that light available to us. Even if the avatar's body might not still be here, the consciousness is there. And so that's the real thread that I want to talk about today, is how to fill our bodies with that consciousness, with the sound of Om, with that spark, with that light, and that pulse. And one of the things that I find very helpful, because as a young mother, when I first came to Ananda, I didn't come with a child, but I had my first child within a year and a half. And so that means I was pregnant for, after the first 6 months or so of being here. And I would not say that I was a great meditator. And I had a lot of bad feelings about myself because of that. And I saw when I moved to Ananda, it was half of the people were monastics. And so, they had a very strong sadhana and a strong inner life. And that's changed over the years. But back then, my focus was my family, and so the music was a huge part for me, because of course that brings you right back to center. And also, I just wanted to say there's this one that the suggestion I made before we went into meditation, just keep bringing your consciousness back to the spiritual eye. If you at all feel just out of sorts, you're not feeling that sense of peace and joy and calmness inside, just every time you think of it, just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Now, I had an interesting experience this week. As we know, our dear friend Dikshini passed a week ago, and that was quite a profound experience for me. And then the exciting part came Monday morning when I got a phone call saying that Ram had tested positive for COVID. So a whole bunch of people were put in quarantine. And it's actually nice. I don't mind being in quarantine. It's not that different than not being in quarantine. But what's interesting is I had to really look at that. Oh, every little headache or cough or sniffle or my eye dripping, it was like, oh, am I getting COVID? And I was doubling up on my vitamins and using affirmations. And actually one night, this has only happened like 3 times in the last week, but I just have a moment of fear. And the first one, I think, was that first night when in the middle of the night, I couldn't sleep very well. And I think in the cold, dark of night is sometimes when, you might get visited by those kinds of fears. And so I just kept bringing my focus to my spiritual eye. And there'd immediately be a big light there too, and you can consciously draw the light. Just you know, you can press on it. But this is it's a key part of our path is the spiritual eye, and trying to operate from that center of our spine and this chakra here, and it's miraculous. You know, I'm a firm believer in magic, and I think that our path has magic. It's not the Harry Potter Hogwarts form of magic, but we have some powerful, powerful techniques. There was another evening, and yeah, my eyes have been running because it turns out there's allergies, and was getting a little cough, and I'm thinking, no, 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 I don't want this dreaded COVID, you know. And so for about an hour, I just walked around the house singing this affirmation, and it's not one of Swami's; it's made by a devotee, but having the music to it helps. It gets stuck in your brain, right? And it's easier for me when there's music. And Father, thou art within me. I am well. I am well. And I just sang that for about an hour. And, you know, it not only takes care of the fear, but it lifts you off the ground too. So um, this pulse that I mentioned, the consciousness, that light, that spark, we just need to strive to have that fill our lives more and more. And of course, meditation is a huge key. And but service. I mean, that's why I love that chant. How shall I serve thee? How shall I love thee? How shall I seek thee? How shall I worship thee? Nishkan karma. Um, that is service without the need for recognition. So just freely serving. And I thought it was interesting that the affirmation is sharing this week. And I'd sometimes you kind of see the connection between the reading um, and the affirmation. And I didn't see that so much, the connection between those two, but I saw that very much so with a week ago when I had the great honor to be washing Dikshini's body and sharing and giving without any thought of COVID, for instance. It didn't even occur to me. You know, we knew that Ram and Dikshini were in quarantine because they had come up from LA. And when I first visited them on Wednesday and took all of your beautiful messages, I sat outside the door. Door was open to their bedroom, and I had a mask on. And but then when I was asked to come up on Saturday, not once did I think, oh, and I'm glad. I would have gone anyway because Ram is my friend, Dakshini was my friend, and what a great honor. But that's the kind of service that, you know, unthinking, just like, how can I help? How can I make other people happy? And in it, we find, I'm sure you all have found this, that it makes us happy too. It's not completely selfless because because there is a consequence, which is our own greater um, expansion of our heart and our recognition that we're all one, and that we're all in this uh, together, and that we can help each other and support each other and love each other. So let me see. Yeah, so there's a lot more I could say, turns out. But I think I'd like to play this song because it's not done that often. It is a song that Master wrote, and um, it talks about the Om. So here we are back in that vibration, that consciousness, the Om, um, in our spine, in our chakras, in our spiritual eye, and in our hearts, just throbbing that pulse. Oh, before I sing that song, I want to just ask you. to listen, the next time you listen to a recording of the song God's Call Within, which I was going to play for you, but we're running out of time. The way Swami wrote it, it's very interesting because he has this one bum, 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 listen, bum, bum, bum. So that's the song where I always, even before I had this thought of pulse, that's what it felt like. It felt like a heartbeat, like the pulse running through all of humanity, like the Om, like, you know, that throb of our longing and our love and our willingness to change and grow. But this song we have to do because it's just so wonderful. The Om song. And David, I have the words right here. Oh, don't I? Yes, here we go. Okay. There we go. Now, you probably recognize that this song is about the chakras. And if you have ever been to the Lake Shrine, Master's Shrine in Southern California, in the little gift shop there in the museum, you see in one of the cases the sheet music for this. It looks like it came out of maybe from the 30s or something. And boy, I would love to get my hands on that. When song the soundless roar doth come, when drowns its matter's dreary drum, on shores of bliss on booming breaks, all heaven, all earth, all body shakes. The bumblebee now hums along, baby home that softly sing his song. From Krishna's flute the call is sweet, 'tis time the watery God to meet. Chords bound to flesh are broken off, vibrations burst and meteors fall. The hustling heart, the boasting breath, no more shall cause a yogi's death. The God of fire with fervor sings, Om, Om, his joyous harp now rings. Prana God with power sounds, the wondrous bells the soul resounds. Oh, nature lies in darkness soft, the star divine is seen aloft. Subconscious dreams have gone to bed, 'tis then that one doth hear home's tread. Oh, upward climb the living tree, hark to the cosmic symphony. From Om, the soundless roar follow, the call for light or dark to roam. From Om, the music of the spheres, from Om, the mist of nature's tears, all kings of earth and heaven declare, Om, Om, resounding everywhere. Om, Om, resounding everywhere. Isn't that just a thrilling song? And I tell you, we've done it quite a few times with adding all the instruments. Having the flute and the violin and the harp and the gong. I just want to leave you with one last message, and it's about that fear, you know. I think we all have been dealing with it quite a lot the last year, and it doesn't seem to be letting up much. Um, it's manifested in many different ways, in health and politics, and um, but um, there's that the chant, another chant which I was maybe going to do, um, is "Desire My Great Enemy," and the end of that. Oh, I had it written down. Let's see. Um, let's see. You don't have to fear anything anymore. Yeah. So the basically again, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to put in a little plug here. And I do a lot of these songs on my Thursday and Wednesday sing-alongs. And I know that's sometimes hard for people to come because of work or because you're doing something else. But truly, I do not mind if you come and you just have the audio on and you're just listening and it's background music. Um, it's wonderful. We've had a handful of people who've been coming regularly, and they all say this is so wonderful. How come more people don't come? And it's a wonderful opportunity. And it's not about me. It's about the music. And there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs and chants that are just so inspiring and unique. And Desire My Great Enemy is one that I was going to do today, but I will be doing it on Thursday or Saturday of this week. And that last line, pranayam is the cosmic lore. Well, let's see. I had it written down and it disappeared. So, but the very last line is, "You don't have to fear anything anymore," and that is the. Sometimes I'll just have that going through my head. So I think that now we will take our offering, and I will sing this very short song